Everybody, welcome to my interview. I'm very honored to have with me a special guest, PK the Beast Fuzzy.
What's up? What's up?
How
Thanks
you
for
doing,
having me.
Fuzzy? It's great to hear from you again. It's been a long time actually.
Yeah, a really long time.
You disappeared, guess off most streaming or YouTube platforms about over a year ago.
Yeah, I think even on STDX, I stopped for the most part. I don't remember exactly, but after that, for sure, I was totally burnt out from everything.
Yeah, I was actually looking like through some past stuff on your YouTube, and I was like, does he make any uploads from time he was on STDX? Like I can't even find anything.
Probably not. YouTube, even something, I don't know. YouTube is weird because for some reason I didn't upload Draft Cup, which I
Hmm.
like would have surely done. That was in like
Oh yeah,
2018 though. But
yeah.
maybe I just was lazy with YouTube, but it's more of the Twitch that I really felt, because without streaming, I'm not gonna have any YouTube content. I don't make videos like that.
Yeah, yeah. I get you. It does seem like it's a lot easier, or a lot more interactive, at least, to just play video games and then later on just upload it.
Yeah. But I don't think I'm equipped enough to commentate by myself and post a video later.
Yeah, a lot of editing too.
Yeah, no, I'm a
It's a lot.
total novice in that regard, so
Um,
I stayed away for sure.
it's no fun. I tried doing it for several years, and it's just like it's hours. Like especially with
Yeah.
like Premiere Pro, and you gotta have a computer that can do it. It's no good.
Kudos to the YouTubers, though.
I know it's a lot more work than it looks like.
Yeah.
Even just like funny voices, like random clips, sounds. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
So what we're about to celebrate, I guess, the 5th year Splatoon's been out. I think that's the 28th, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
First Splatoon 1. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
first Splatoon 1. Did you start playing like right as the game came out?
Yeah, I was there for launch. I remember seeing, I guess, a commercial somewhere, some advertisement somewhere with my cousin, and we were like, "Oh my god, this is maybe a game we could play together." And within like 2 weeks, he quit, but I never stopped. I never stopped.
Did you originally start playing the game with the idea of being competitive, or was it just playing with your cousin having fun?
No, yeah, just out of fun. Like, I played a lot of PC games when I was younger with my one of my very good friends, my best friend. But my cousin James and I never really played anything after like Mario Party.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought this was going to be just like a fun, casual game to play together online. And I remember I was A+99 after like 2 weeks with the gold aerospray, and he could not get out of like B or whatever. And he's like, "All right, I'm done." And I just became like a solo queue warrior
Really?
until October. Yeah.
Wow. So like, were you like one of the first people to get A+99, at least Western side?
I, when Splatoon, well, I was so not. I was never in a community like what Splatoon is now. I was never in that sort of thing before. So when I first started playing, I knew nothing. I looked up like a tier list. I saw a gold airspray painted a lot, and I just played it. I had to get to level like 14 and beat some level in single player.
Mm-hmm.
I went through that, and yeah, it really wasn't until I think it was the end of September or October of 2015 where I was like, you know what, let's see what's going on over here because I'm the max rank, so I can't be that bad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when I went on Squid Boards and just responded to the very first looking for player post that I saw.
So that's when you originally got really kind of started in competitive.
Yeah. I was totally clueless prior to like literally October of that year. So the first couple months,
Wow.
and I did take. So the game came out in May, end of May. The first day that Tower Control came out, I
Wow.
immediately quit the game. I quit the game. 100%. I didn't touch it. I didn't touch it again until S rank came out. So from like June, whenever, like the first time I played Tower Control, I played the mode. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is awful. Luna Blaster is so broken. They don't even aim at me. They just kill me. I'm trying to stand in the tower. It's impossible. I quit the game cold turkey until October, until
Wow.
Spring came back.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've had extremely strong opinions on the game.
Yeah,
Before I even knew what was going on.
Even there's still people that don't like Tower Control. Wow.
Yeah.
And that was back when you had the same exact rank for every mode. Like you did bad in Tower Control, your rank just went down.
Yeah, you had, it was A plus 99, then S plus 99, and that was it. All the modes were together.
Yeah, I remember like you used to be able to like, I think you used to a squad and be able to raise your rank up to like S, and I think like S plus.
Oh yeah, or S, and then you had to go from S on, so everyone was boosted.
Yeah, exactly. Like I had a squad carry me up to like S, and then like I stopped playing ranked at all. Like I done it. I'm S rank, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
you just had to win that one game to get you there.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I 100% remember that. Yeah, you had to win one more game to get over.
They just stopped, they just squatted for like, because I guess playing squads you couldn't D rank for some reason. It was bizarre. It was a bizarre time. Man.
Yeah, the rank wasn't. Even though I thought the matchmaking was pretty good, the ranking themselves was weird to say the least.
You think it was better than it is in Splatoon 2?
Like the literal ranking, I think Splatoon 2, like having all 4 modes is good. Like the only game I can think of is Overwatch that has different modes technically, and they're all together. But I think I prefer having all the modes separate. It's like a longer grind anyway, and like you have more things to try and grind towards. But and I think X Powers is like exactly what you want. I just don't know how well it's implemented.
Yeah, I guess
having a ladder like that, I think, is so good. Like really, really a necessary thing for a competitive game.
Yeah, to actually have like a number one spot. Yeah, it's
because in Splatoon 1, everyone's just S plus 99, and then that's it. Like it was the gap between S plus 99 and beyond. You never could quantify it. You never really know.
Yeah, exactly. And then you don't have now you have people like going for like some like 3K. And then, reaching, past that milestone.
Yeah, it's only been like 10 players or less, like total within all the regions that have gotten it. So yeah, that's a milestone. That's like a great thing for the game to have 3,000 to like try and strive for it.
And there's like some people I think at least one person's gotten like number one in every single mode for a month. I don't know if
I don't know about
all, or it's
month.
like 3.
I've definitely seen the guy Chocopero with 3 last month or 2 months ago.
Yeah,
and I've definitely seen mid-month. Ku and Yamamichi both had mid-month 4 that I remember. I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, that is very cool to.
Yeah, all those types of things are really, really like good to have in the game. I think in general.
Give some like competition, at least when you're not doing a tournament or just playing solo. Because I think it's probably the majority of the time, or would you even say like in your gameplay that the majority of it was spent solo?
I think there's like a limit to like what you like break in. You have basically. You have to play solo almost all the time to improve, and then that's how you get noticed. And then from there, you could stop playing solo. So it's like the barrier to entry, I feel like, is solo queue.
Okay, so you basically have to get good enough to kind of be on a decent team to be able to like.
Yeah, that's how it was when I first started. Now I have no idea.
Yeah,
like,
I guess there is.
If it was up to me, if there was hundreds or thousands of players like available to play with, I don't think I would ever play solo, but I think it's a necessary thing for you to like get through solo and like try to understand what it means to like carry a solo team and rank up and stuff like that. You got to learn through that, I think.
At least master some level of mechanics of the game.
Yeah, because you have to be like at least some skill level to get through solo, like hit S+50 or whatever it was, and then X rank. I don't know if there's like a lower number that like Western communities are looking for because it's kind of weird
Yeah.
Western solo queue, but like in Japan, like there's 3,000, there's 2,900, 28, and so on
Wow,
below that.
it's and do they take solo queue, that serious as far as your X power?
I think, well, I think for Japan, the solo queue works out better for them
Mm-hmm.
because there's way more players at a concentrated power level.
Mm.
So I think it's better for them. I don't know how else to really word that. Like I could have
Yeah.
I've had like 2,300s at the end of the month. Like granted, I'm not grinding, but
Mm-hmm.
like I'll do my placements. I'll play maybe like 5 more through the month, and I'll be at like some ridiculously low power. And
Yeah.
there'll be solo queue players that I'll see there on Twitter 2,800, and I'll play them in a scrim, and it's like, all right, these guys don't actually understand the game.
Mm.
So I think for Japan, at the end of Splatoon 1, when they asked for scrims, it was just like S+99. And like I said, it could get kind of murky of what that means.
Mm.
So I think having 2,800, I think 2,800 is where I would say, like, wow, these guys are definitely good. If you're Japanese and you hit 2,800,
Mm-hmm.
and then 29, obviously better. And then if you're playing 3,000 players, you're playing, only 5 players. So
Yeah.
I think it is a pretty good indicator of what you're playing against when you're when you're looking in Japan.
Yeah. It's just such a concentrated player base, and I guess they just have so much more high level players in general that it just works out, and that's really just to kind of like get noticed. I mean, I assume if some of the players that they already have like their name established don't have a problem with getting a sort of some scrims.
Yeah, I'm
Or
sure
getting
there are
through.
players who haven't touched solo. Like when I was playing with Gray a lot at the end of Splatoon 1 and in the beginning of Splatoon 2, like you could see just from his level, Penguin 2, Hexen 2, they
Mm.
were like level 99 when everyone else was like second prestige. So
Mm. So
yeah,
even though they weren't grinding, I mean, they're playing enough scrims that it didn't matter.
yeah, yeah. They like basically played scrims only and never really touched the other parts of the game.
Do you think that's kind of like once you reach a certain level in solo queue that the only way to really improve is just scrim like actual high level play?
I think I think solo queue, especially in the West, like it's so volatile. You could really be playing people that just have no idea, like
Mm.
rollers who are just rolling around, or people who are obviously playing sticks and stuff like that. When you're at like when you're grinding for your high X power or whatever. So the thing with solo queue is the thing that you need to learn from it is how to carry a game,
Mm.
and maybe not from start to finish, but especially like you notice your team, you're playing solo queue tower control and like 10 seconds left and you guys haven't touched the tower yet. And like you need to get that final push, and like those moments, I think it'll help you learn like what types of plays to make in crunch time of a game. But besides that, I wouldn't put too much stock because there's no coordination and communication.
Yeah,
So it's just like name drills, and then I think the clutch factor at the end is big.
I see it. Being able to perform under pressure.
Yeah, yeah, it's like a weird skill. You'll see like some people kind of crack,
Mm-hmm.
like when it's like the final push, and maybe mixing up what you've done all game. Like maybe you've just like pushed the right side of a map the whole game, and like as time's running out, you finally make a switch, stuff like that, like kind of mind gaming.
Hmm. And yeah, I also like. It seems like sometimes people just like that's when they mess up. They're winning, then all of a sudden, just that last push, they either get antsy or they play too defensively, and then everything falls apart.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And I mean, we were talking a little bit about Japan. One of the things I wanted to ask you about is I've heard some people call you, and maybe this is right or wrong, but they call it about the most popular Western player in Japan. I don't know if you'd say that's true or.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair.
And I'm curious because a lot of people, talk about like getting Japanese scrims. They're obviously a huge amount of really high level players there. A lot of Western players want to like be able to play them to improve. How did you really kind of develop that relationship with the Japanese community?
Uh, well, actually, it's basically the same as what I did in the beginning of Splatoon 1. Like, NSTC entered Apple Cup, which was just a Japanese tournament, and I don't even remember, we lost place whatever
Round
placement.
two. If I was actually like looking at that
You
not that long ago, but I
I don't
can't
know if
remember.
it's even. I don't think we did anything like special, but it might have been eye opening. I don't actually remember the first one, but the second one that we played in,
Mhm.
we won the tournament,
Oh, really?
which is the first and only time that a Western team has won a Japanese tournament. So
Mhm.
like that obviously was just a huge amount of popularity, and I couldn't really point to anything in particular because there was no world championships.
Mhm.
There was no anything of the sort. What honestly might I do remember being like a stream monster for the Japanese streams in the morning and just like viewing and just like saying hello and that's it.
Mhm.
But I don't think that would really amount to anything. I think it's
Mhm.
really just winning that tournament and then NSTC again. We were the strongest team in the West.
Mhm.
I for a few months at least. Like we were pretty dominant. And so we just started asking Japanese teams if they would want to play against us, and like we got a couple hits, and we had like a pretty famous scrim against a Japanese team, NIS, where we got absolutely decimated, and I think that like changed our view, our perception on how the game plays in general,
Mhm.
and I think from there, like me personally as a player, I was like, wow, like if we just keep playing in the West, we're never gonna reach this point. Like we
Mhm.
just we played 16 maps against them in Splatoon, lost one 15-1. We lost 1-15. We won one game. We won an overtime game on Bluefin Depot, and
Wow.
then we played. It was like 4 to 12 Rainmaker and maybe like 6 to 10 Tower Control or whatever. So we got our butts handed to us pretty handily, and I think like that's when I personally started reaching out. So I would league with Japanese players just through Twitter. No Discord yet. Discord wasn't really that popular yet, I don't think. And from League, maybe getting friendly with them, just leaguing with them, and then maybe getting invited to a scrim and then playing. There was no like magic button that I hit. I grinded for months and months and months to make a name for myself, but really only after my team, NSTC's me, Sendo, Nike, Samurai Man, the Boss, Walkman, like that basic squad of us was able to do what we did in the Western scene and then like eventually win a Japanese tournament.
Wow. So it was really actually just accomplishing that kind of got your foot in the door. I know you are pretty good friends with some of the Japanese players, but like Yuki, I think you mentioned was one of them. You're really good friends with. Uh,
Yeah, well, he doesn't really play that much anymore, but I was pretty friendly with him. But there's a ton of Japanese people that I used to be at least before I stopped playing so much.
mhm.
Like pretty good friends with. I would be talking to them almost every day.
No, wow. So it was really just a matter of inviting or talking to them, asking, and then just doing that every day.
Yeah, like I have Japanese people that I still followed that I still follow now on Twitter, and they were literally S rank and S plus rank in this game. So those are like the when I was first leaguing, it's not even like I was going straight to the good Japanese players. Like I was playing league
Mm-hmm.
matches with weaker Japanese players who were more interested in American players than they were playing with a good player. Like
Hmm.
I don't even think it mattered really what my skill level was. More that the interaction between Japan and America was interesting to them.
Oh, oh, interesting.
Yeah, like a few at least, like 4 or 5 of my followers that I still follow
Mm.
from Splatoon 1. We're not S plus 99, not X rank, none of that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just enjoy playing it. And you mentioned when you like first start playing those matches against Japanese players. Was that like the first time you felt like, whoa, these like an opponent that you were playing against was just completely beyond you, like on a completely another level?
Yeah, like I always have like a mental edge. I'm like a very obviously very competitive person, so it was frustrating, and I didn't want to admit any sort of deficiency in my game. But post game, you take a look back and you're like, wow, like as a unit, these guys just overwhelmed us like in ways that we never even thought about. Like it was like literally like a new game, an entirely new game that we played against them for the
Really?
first time.
Was
Yeah,
it
for sure.
was it like in terms of mechanical skill, or was it more like just mental, tactical prowess?
Uh, in the very beginning, the absolute biggest thing was the amount of just cover for each player. So like every 1v1 turned into a 1v2.
Hmm.
Like before you had time to really maybe like get the kill and move forward. Always 1v2s. The amount of map control, just in Splatoon 1 in the beginning, in the very very beginning of this, when West was still pretty primitive, there was like a basic ideology of like people holding ZL, waiting for kills, and then like the E leader playing back. So nothing ever actually got painted. It
Hmm.
wasn't really like until later on where we realized how important painting up, like really aggressively up and just around everywhere was. And so it's just like the overall painting, and then the 1v2s were just out of this world. Like you were never fighting a 1-on-1. You always felt like you were fighting like five opponents. It was crazy. But in like specific mechanical skill, I wouldn't even go as far to say there's definitely Western players who are just as mechanically skilled, or even more so than the most mechanical Japanese player.
No, no, right on. So it's just a matter of they got the tactics down and the team played
Yeah,
down quite a bit better. Yeah, I remember like sharking used to be quite big. I don't know if it's still as big as
I'm
it was
sure it is.
before. Yeah,
I'm sure
probably.
it is.
It's probably is. It always feels good to just shoot a guy from behind, or lose the
Yeah.
game just getting hiding in a corner.
Yeah. Waiting for your perfect moment that never
It's
arrives.
gonna come. Oh wait, they went the other direction. Oops.
Oh, they use echolocator.
Oh man, echolocator. I did want to ask you this. As far as like between Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2, is there a version of the game that you prefer?
I mean,
Or play?
Splatoon 1 is just like one of the most perfect games I could imagine. I think for myself personally, I don't think Splatoon 2 even like holds a candle to it. Is and people want to sometimes comment like, what about gear chunks and the
Mm-hmm.
salmon run
Mm-hmm.
and the UI changes? Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the gameplay. Like in
Mm-hmm.
the 5 minutes that you're in the match, like Splatoon 1 was just on a whole other level in my opinion. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think actually like the best comparison I could have is that like Splatoon 1 is like Super Smash Bros. Melee, where there's
Mm-hmm.
like only a few viable characters, and the gameplay is generally really fast.
Yeah.
And then like Splatoon 2 is more like Smash Ultimate, where there are like 85 characters, and
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe there are like 40 viable characters that can win a tournament. I don't really know. I
Yeah.
don't follow too much, but I
Yeah.
know them. I know that like the best player in the world plays like seven characters.
Th-
Like so,
That's
it's
crazy.
more about Splatoon 2 is more about the team composition and the special usage together. It's like a slower game in general, which is still great. Like me saying I like Splatoon 1 more, and it's I enjoy it more. Splatoon 2, like what it does well, it does really well. Like as far as the the teamwork necessary to win and the management of like specials and ink tanks, like more than Splatoon 1. But
Mm-hmm.
Splatoon 1's for me, for sure.
Yeah. I was looking back at some of the things, and people will point out stuff like, oh, it had Kraken, and I see like an E-liter
I
like,
know that Kraken
throw
and
true
the
burst
bubble,
bombs. Like they didn't direct some guy, but they die anyway. He's got like a zillion
yeah,
special power up. I mean, I think it did have some issues, but it does seem like it's a lot faster game than Splatoon 2. I don't know.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was just. It's all because of the QR,
Yeah,
quick response compared to Splatoon 2.
yeah, and that I'm trying to think of that came meta more towards the end of Splatoon, didn't it?
Yeah,
That's
but
when
I don't think that it was ever going to change from that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was basically the end game. I don't think there was any real counters to the QR stealth jump stuff.
I mean,
If anything, it was getting worse.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's still like even after they nerfed QR and stealth jump, they're still probably two of the most used abilities. I mean,
Yeah, like especially for frontliners, like even like Explosion sometimes, Chargers sometimes, like it still finds its way
yeah,
into teams for
it's,
sure.
it's funny because it just seems like it's so, when it actually activates, it's just so powerful versus like anything else. Like maybe something else gives you like another extra shot or a little more of a bomb throw every now and then, but like being able to get back into a fight like 5 or 6 seconds faster is just this ends up being crazy.
That's insane.
It is.
I think a thing that the current meta in Splatoon 2 now is that all the best weapons are very reliant on gear.
Mm-hmm.
So, like QR will probably go down a bunch. Well, it has gone down a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's not really that many weapons that can afford to use QR slots.
Yeah, it is funny, and most of it seems to be like main power up.
Yeah, which is just a disaster.
I mean, you did call it like the second it came out. You called that it was gonna.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I literally was in total shock that it even got released in the first place. Like, they got rid of it. Everyone was praising it, and then they brought it back.
They brought it back, and they're very specifically on certain weapons too.
Yeah. So it'll be downright useless on some weapons, and then just totally game breaking. Like the two of the best weapons just stack 3 mains and like 6 subs of main power.
And it's always damage up too. It's never like not a single of the other. Well, actually, I've seen some end zaps use main power up.
Oh, that's right. Like one main though, and I don't really even know.
If they really
I'll say for sure, like the only reason I use main power up is because the highest, like one of the first 3,000 Zap players in Japan had it on his gear, and then everyone just used it, and I was like, I'll hop on this train, no problem.
Right on. He's got to know something we don't.
Yeah, exactly.
That is crazy. It's like bamboo, CDS. Trying to think.
The Sorella and then Zap.
Wait, Sorella Umbrella uses it too?
Oh, not MPU. No, not
that
main
is
power.
that is
Splatter Shock Pro, Dynamos use it. Chargers could use a main to break the Umbrella shield instantly.
Oh yeah, there's H3s seem to use it too.
H3. It's getting more. I think the main power H3 is getting more play currently than like the special charge up variant too. Like 96, I always use like a main or 2 mains on it to hit like some damage thresholds.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's interesting for sure. Bringing it back.
And I wonder if that's just because damage is so good, or it's just like so many other abilities just don't do that much for you in a fight.
I mean, well, I think it's both in a sense, because damage up obviously is a lot. Like it damage up is breaking the limits that they set in the game, which makes no sense. Like the damage thresholds are what they put in specifically, and you see it when you can't break past 33.3 or 49.9 or whatever. But the point is moot, because no one's ever at 100 health in the middle of the game. Like you'll never see it. Like it's very rare. So it's happening anyway. And then just dying in one less shot is just totally game changing. Like in any competitive game with like super low health totals like this, You
Yeah.
know, I've been playing a lot of Valorant. If I was dying in 3 hits instead of 4 hits to the body every time, I would be throwing a fit. Like, it would be insane.
Yeah. It's the difference, yeah. Complete difference between like winning a fight and just straight up losing. It's,
Yeah, like a bamboo player, there's no risk to a bamboo. They just keep shooting. You can't do anything.
yeah.
CDS has the good area denial, the backward slides, you know, all that stuff. That stuff's crazy. That's why it's so powerful right now.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny because I think the last video you posted on YouTube, you were playing CDS. Like, I think that's before it got nerfed for the first time. And now it's just slowly gotten its way back.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 is weird with that, like, weapons falling out of favor, and I don't even know if they get buffed or other weapons just get nerfed, and then they, like, slowly rise back up. Brella is the same exact thing. It was so powerful, got nerfed, totally disappeared, and now it's, you know, back in full force.
Yeah, it's
weapons like that. Ends up too, and
yeah,
you know, all of a sudden now it's the premier armor weapon. When just last patch Junior was, but nothing happened to Junior, I don't think.
No,
and I don't know if anything happened to Enzap.
I don't think so either. It's like just
you know, that's crazy, right? Like all of a sudden, you know, it's the partially for sure the meta. Like you can't have a Junior just being sitting in the back because it's just going to get one tapped, you know, or 3-shot by a duel, but you know, it's so crazy that there's no changes to the values of the weapon, but all of a sudden Zap is the most popular weapon in the game, and Junior is, you know, like a distant 6th or 7th.
Yeah, it just fades into obscurity. I think it's like even like 10 change it. It's yeah, I don't quite understand it, and then like I don't even know what chargers are doing nowadays. I don't know if like all they've all
a lot of Elite
Bamboo, yeah.
I mean, I think Firefin's still really popular, but I think the main reason that it is because if you hit your shot with a Firefin, you're still going to kill them. So, like, I think the Firefin players who are just great Charger players are just being stubborn. I think eventually U-Leader and Bamboo will just, like, overtake it. But, you know, it's like similar to, like, T-Tech players. They're, like, kind of stubborn, but then they're like, all right, I just got to play Enzap or Dually Sculpture.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it's really hard to compete against a Dually Sculpture with like any lower range weapon. It just rolls away and like, all right.
Yep. The rolls away. Like, you can't reach it. It just rolls away. It's impossible to reach it.
Do you think it's going to get like hotfix nerfed after all these crazy, like I keep seeing these crazy Twitter videos where they're just, like, sliding onto
right? That's crazy. You know, I don't know how viable in game some of them are.
Yeah.
I didn't study the timing necessary or whatever, but you know, it only takes one. I saw one. You go into their spawn on Black Belly, and like, granted, going into their spawn on Black Belly will probably just get you killed.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, the fact that the one time that it happens, or the one time you catch someone off guard, like that's blocked off for a reason. You're not supposed to be there.
Exactly.
You know, we're like skipping into the spawn on Manta I saw, or you know, a few other jumps.
Yeah. Like going
crazy.
from their snipe to that other area, I don't even know what it's called in the callouts, but they just like jump that
Manta,
entire
right?
gap.
Yeah.
On Manta,
That's
I
crazy.
saw that.
They're so fast, and all of a sudden you're you know, all up in their face.
So
that stuff's not good for sure.
I saw one skipper like they just like kind of roll up that side, that'll like slick area, and then get up to the top part. There, it's
really?
Yeah.
On like Rainmaker and Tower Control.
I don't know if it's Rainmaker or Tower Control. Shoot.
I think that I don't think Splatoon has the slick thing.
Oh, okay,
like,
where it's like kind of slanted because it looks like it rolls, and almost like you gotta like space it out right so it's like he's rolling on the slant, but instead he just goes straight up.
Oh, got you. Yeah, I think that's the one on Wahoo like that too. Yeah, that's.
It's like now like everyone's just trying to figure every single place to abuse it.
Yeah.
It seems like the natural momentum is gonna take it to some sort of fix.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel bad for the original like Dually Sculpture one tricks because it's the same as the ballpoint one tricks. Like the weapon gets found out, then it gets nerfed, and like these guys are left in the dust. Like everyone else is like, pack your bags up, let's move on to the next.
Glad to see that gone, and then they're just left like, well, Darn. That's another thing that just like disappeared after it got
Yeah,
nerfed. But
yeah,
that thing was
thing's
good
gone.
forever though, for a
Yeah,
really
like,
long
it
time.
was way too good way before it got popular
Mm,
anyway.
yeah,
And it was good riddance. Honestly, that weapon was
yeah.
crazy.
It didn't make sense to have like some that just blows you up from around the corner, and also has insane
You
range.
see, it beats you long range.
Yeah,
It just does it all. Paints, beacons. Yeah, that one was like a perfect weapon actually.
it was. It was insanely strong. Uh, there's a few other things I wanted to ask you about, like general, like as far as I know, you mentioned about burning out before. What does it take to kind of play at the very top level? I mean, you were on like kind of like the original. Actually, I don't know if you joined STX a little later, or were you on that
Yeah.
original squad?
No, the original was Kiver
The
and
Kiver, okay.
Power,
All right.
Hexen and Pinglet, and then I subbed Power.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, after he
I
subbed.
think that was the lineup at the end of Splatoon 1 after the World Championship that
Mm,
they won with.
yeah.
So it was Tim instead of Kiver,
Mm,
but then Tim didn't sign, so they picked up Kiver instead. And then after Splatoon 2 came out in the early stages, Charger was like literally useless. So Andy took a break,
mm.
Power took a break rather, and
That was really interesting. How like everyone's like long range sucks, and then it's like come full circle where like long range is the best. Well, actually,
yeah.
it's not even like super long range is good, but it's like kind of far range is really good.
I think this is the first time, besides the Pro, like a few months ago when Pro is just insane. This is probably the first time where like a mid range weapon is the sole dominant like force, which is weird. It
Mm,
just creates really slow games. I think really
yeah,
like the games basically. Uh, it's kind of like suffocation. Like it's slow moving, and you're slowly getting encroached upon, and then you just lose.
yeah. And if you like
It's not a lot of action.
you try and push, you just get like lasered to death by a bamboo or something else.
Yeah,
It's
like yeah, if you try to push, they could roll back or they bamboo you, literally just one tap you. And otherwise, as a short range weapon, you can't really get in. It takes a lot of creativity and a lot of like perfect special usage, uh,
mm,
which is like which is really what Splatoon 2 is about. So in a way, I guess it's good. Like as far as the game's identity, which I would say that's the game's identity, like about teamwork and special usage.
mm,
Um, Unless there's nothing about like winning your 1v1 or
mm.
flanking like hard, or stuff like that.
That's true. I mean, it's kind of funny because it seems like in Splatoon 1, like they nerfed the specials going to Splatoon 2, or at least it seemed like it since they got rid of all the invincible specials, but it's really centered around a special usage and making like a really strong push into to
Yeah,
retake.
yeah, yeah. Splatoon 1 had I, I couldn't tell you in a vacuum which ones are better between the games, but Splatoon 1's strongest specials were always offset by the QR.
Hmm.
So if you were getting one bubble a minute as a Zimmy,
Hmm.
Zinc Mini Splatling, or a Cherry H3, like that bubble was getting offset by the quick respawn time.
Yeah,
So
but
you're gonna have to do a lot of work in between your bubbles, which eventually you're gonna get outgunned.
yeah, that makes
From the zombie hordes, like literally the quick responding, you know, massacre that it was.
yeah.
Splatoon 2, you really drop the biggest strength of QR, which is still useful, but
Hmm.
it's not overwhelming. So then you really get to see what the game is like when the special dominates.
Hmm. That makes a lot of sense. Just because you can't, just go super aggro and just keep pushing at it until you break through.
Yeah, your life and your special yourself matters too much to force something. Uh, with QR like you could in Splatoon 1.
Hmm. That is interesting. It's like more of a slower paced game. Like don't want to call it like Counter-Strike because it's not like that, but it's
way faster than
yeah,
CS.
way faster than CS, but it's still like dying is a really big deal.
Yeah, it could be like a huge deal, and even even if you're a T-Tech, you're a traditional QR guy, like that jetpack is like so necessary now to, if not kill the charger or or whatever you have in front of you, to push them back or push them forward into a position where they could get killed. Like there's a little micro things like that that your gun can't accomplish. So you have to jetpack to move them to have someone else kill them, or have someone else move them so your jetpack can kill them. It's not a lot you could do on your own.
Yeah. So gone are the days of like the guy just coming in and getting that triple, and then that's what wins you the game.
Yeah, like no stealth jump triple kills for the most part. No crack. No 96 deco like hiding in a corner on the ink, and then everyone goes past him and crack in and kills everyone and just full wipes you like that. It's not really like that anymore.
Dang. That had its charm in a way.
I loved it. I always loved it. I loved having to be on top of everything, like looking in the skies constantly, painting everything, and the UI was different. You couldn't track their specials by just looking up. You had to track by keeping track in your head, which is like crazy task to try and do.
Yeah, and I was looking like you don't even know like who's down. It's like it's just a squid. So
you gotta remember it.
You have to remember who's where.
He's coming back with this Luna still jumping.
Yeah. That's like, crazy. Like the mental stuff you had to keep track of that.
Yeah, and I'll admit, like Splatoon 2 is probably a better game in like design wise for that, but I still love all that mental gymnastics you have to go through in order to win a game in Splatoon 1. Like keep track of you have to look at their shoes at the start of the match to check what their gear is.
Yeah.
You gotta make sure they have stealth jump. Like if you're playing on Museum, they might not have stealth jump, so you gotta double check. Like so many crazy things that really went into like being a top player. Which I think in Splatoon 2, there's a lot more top players than Splatoon 1. And I think because Splatoon 1 was very specific on the skill set needed to win. Really? And Splatoon 2 is a little wider. You could do a multitude of things and still have success.
Do you think like Slayers have become less powerful than they were in Splatoon 2?
Yeah, and I think the habits of Slayers is another problem. Like the Slayer style, the QR crazy style doesn't really work as much in this game. So all the old QR players have to adapt to play this new style of game, or else they'll go extinct. So you'll see like one interesting thing is like the Kensa splash shot, because it gets missiles so fast, but it's like a lot more throwing bombs and swimming around or hiding. It's a much slower game in general. So yeah, you really got to change your mindset in general for that kind of weapon.
Yeah, it's actually kind of interesting because I've been watching that Chocopero. He has got a YouTube video. I'm watching some of his videos, and it's actually amazing just how defensive he seems to play.
Yeah, like, I agree with you. I just cut you off because I'm so excited. I'm sorry.
No, it's crazy because like he just sort of like holds a position, like waits for them to like come up, just shoots them to death, and like maybe he'll move up a little bit or just watches other teammates kind of move in and then just slowly like creep closer and closer. I got the
exact thing watching him just yesterday, watching him, and all he did for like 3 minutes was just watch the flank, throw a bomb like every once in a while, maybe get it, like see someone in overextended mid, get a pick, go back to his like flank watching. And he is the best solo player in the world.
Yeah, that's undoubtedly.
Like, there's no really there's no argument. I mean for that, consistently 3,000.
And he's like amazingly skilled. Like the way he moves and the way like his accuracy is just unreal. Like especially like,
and he's got a wide weapon pool too. He's playing so many weapons. 3,000 level. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if like he's like the first person to really trying to like popularize like some weapons using mist, but the way like I've seen him using Jet Squelcher with mist, the Splash-O-Matic,
Yeah, the Splashmatic I've seen with him too.
and it's like he's just unreal with some of the inkjet shots that
I
that he
think
hits.
he's one of the first foil squeezer players too, the
Really,
popular.
because he's a
Like
crazy.
I definitely might be wrong, but I remember like foil. I remember months ago seeing him get first in like Clam Blitz and Rainmaker with foil squeezer, and like being like, "Wow, what is that weapon? Like, is this just Forge redone?" And yeah, it's just Forge 2.0. And now like it was so popular too before it got nerfed, and now you see it, but I think the gameplay is just so slow that bubbles actually don't accomplish too much.
Because now they don't have to like you don't have that opportunity where they're trying to come in on you. Just you bubble twice and just kill 2 people.
Yeah, because they're not going to be moving
Yeah.
forward, and if they are, it's probably an umbrella. So
Yeah,
you just pop it a shield.
that is wild to see how the game's evolved to that point where it's so I don't know. I guess it's defensive in a way. It's just like wait until your opportunity and then you can move.
Yeah, I think you see a lot of just it's all really special. So yeah, you just see a lot of like defensive gameplay until you hit like that one moment where you have 4 specials or you like get 1 pick and then that's it. Like it snowballs crazily from there. So you know, it's a different style than I think than Splatoon 1 entirely, and even from earlier Splatoon, like the very first couple metas with the tries and the armor and all that stuff. It's really slowed down. I think the importance of specials is just too high.
And that's again probably just brought in by the fact that QR is not as good, and it's just aggression in general just isn't as good.
Yeah, so there's really no point. Like there's the risk reward is not there for QR. It's just not enough.
No, interesting. And I did want to kind of ask you about like top play and what do you think like the scene? I know you probably like watching from the outside. I don't know if you're still following what's going on in the competitive scene too much.
A little bit here and there. I haven't really involved myself too much, but
kind of just watch.
I see what's going on. Like I'll see like who wins the tournament. I have it on in the background sometimes, but I haven't been engaged in it heavily.
Yeah. And it's do you think the scene's going in a good direction, or in general, or you think it's kind of like petering out, kind of waiting until something else to happen? But did you at some point, have hopes that Splatoon 2 would become like this big esport?
100% because of that damn commercial that they had at the beginning. And that is the biggest false advertising scam that I fell for in my entire life. I'll tell you that. And
you got you. You were going to be on that arena.
Yeah, man.
That was you.
I'd be lucky if I had half of that. Like, or 20%, like 10% of that at whatever. But there's one other thing that really made me believe that when it didn't come through, just I don't know. Well, I'll just tell the story first. So when Ghost Gaming got it might have been right before they got released. So after their year contract, and this is post STDX. Someone from Space Station GG contacted me and asked me basically who I thought was the best team in North America, aka like what team should I sponsor? And I said, I honestly don't have one for you. I could put one together for you. And so basically NA team, so no EU players, so that they're all out the window. So out of my very close friends, Ice and Keo, and then the third Bursty, and I basically asked them, "Do you want to make this team? Will we get sponsored?" And I had been talking with the guy. Basically, it was going to be a clone of the Ghost Gaming contract.
Really?
Because he was in contact with Ghost, and the reason that they wanted to sponsor us was because they heard that Disney was partnering with Nintendo to create a league for the Disney Channel.
What, for real?
Yes.
That's crazy.
This is right after STX
Wow.
contract, which is I don't know when, but I think in the winter maybe of 2019. But I honestly can't remember. Um, so yeah, like that was unbelievable news. Like
Yeah.
this guy from this organization, reputable organization, from what I'm saying, this is my inside information. So the head of STDX at the time already had things lined up with Nintendo of Canada because they're a Canadian-based organization. So we had trips in the making to go to like whatever stores they had in Canada, whatever Nintendo headquarters they have in Canada, to play fans in scrimmages,
Wow.
basically. Yeah, there were a lot of things in the back that I was aware of, and literally none of them came to fruition. So
Wow.
obviously, this Disney League did not happen.
Yeah.
Ghost Gaming got dropped. The deal that I had got severed, which is a totally different story. But it went. There was a lot of expectations. Like we go to Japan, for that wasn't even from Nintendo, which is like incredible.
Yeah.
Platinum Cup.
Yeah, that's the Shinobiism or whatever it's called.
Yes, yeah. So STX and Olive or Ghost Gaming at the time, we get invited. So we get invited. We got third and fourth, but we get invited because the first two teams couldn't go for age reasons or whatever.
There's
so
some
we
different
go,
stuff, yeah.
and like we're two sponsored teams going to Japan, playing in this tournament, and literally nothing comes out of it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when I was in Japan for the Koshin, I mean, the place was packed to fill to the brim. It was loud. It was crazy. I met the director of the game, Nagami, at the Koshin. He's there in attendance, speaking with him. It was incredible. And even Japan, like they have all that, but they don't have. I don't even know what their stance is on making money with the game.
Yeah.
So that's like not going to happen anyway, I guess, because it's literally
which is crazy because it seems like esports. I mean, the way it's like happening in other parts of the world, that would eventually change. I assume they have professional athletes over in Japan, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely do. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure like some of the best fighting game players are Japanese, and they have professional teams. DNG, Detonation Gaming, and GG Boys was made literally for them. So I mean, maybe it'll change soon, but
yeah, that is a shame. I mean, that's
as far as the West goes, I lost all of my grand dreams for the game with all that stuff. But there are games that have survived just on the community. I think the biggest knock against Splatoon is that there aren't enough community leaders that are adults, literally adults. Like I feel like a lot of the best players are 15, 16, which is fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's no governing force that actually like puts rules out. Well, there is EGTV, but EGTV is a TO. It's a tournament organizing entity.
There's no one like creating their own league, or there's no like real like hard organizations that you actually like have to play in.
I feel like as far as self-sustaining goes, like it's not a knock against the players, the kids, because what the game is fun. Like they love it. You love the game, but like how long can you play a game where we're in a world now where you can't just do something for nothing for fun? Like there's going to be more enticing options out there. So that's how the future of the game. I wouldn't say it's bleak, but I also wouldn't say it's bright. I think it just fully depends on like the players keeping it alive. But I don't think there's any sort of growth to be had.
Yeah, I guess
outside of some magical intervention.
Yeah, like from Nintendo or something like that.
Yeah,
yeah. It's like I guess the big question is where's the money gonna come from? For any of these players to like keep playing the game.
Yeah, and Grant, we don't need massive contracts of other games.
Yeah, like
The STDX survived with no monthly stipend. Ghost Gaming, I know they got paid, and those are basically the only two real examples I know. The other teams that are sponsored, I don't have any information on them. So
then they like help pay for your trips. I mean, they did get you partnership on Twitch, which
I'm not trying to slander.
No, I know you're not.
Like they got me this the PC that I'm using to this day. Apparently, great PC. Shout out, to Canada Computers. No,
CDX, big fan.
And I'm not going to sit here and I can never say that SCX didn't do anything. They did so much based on the game that the community that we're in. We're not in a. They didn't make money off of us.
Yeah.
They lost. I'm sure. I'm 99% sure. No, they did all they could, but when our contract ended, and they must have obviously seen, there's really nothing in it for them.
Yeah, that's something that's always worried me because like Ghost ends after 1 year. It's like you get the exposure to the community, and then it's like what's keeping you beyond that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty damning for the game when like Ghost Gaming signs a team that easily is the most popular. They have
100%.
Dude and Nintendo have done so much. Erza is like, I'm sure a lot of young players see themselves in Erza.
Yeah.
And then Brian, who's just the nicest human being and one of the best chargers. Yeah. And then getting dropped. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, they hit Soren too. Shout out Soren. Yeah.
In terms of like YouTube,
he's more tired than me right now. So he slipped my mind.
Yeah.
But like seeing that, like dude is a monster on YouTube and Twitch. Mm-hmm. Like he's the number 1 Splatoon Twitch player, and I don't know about YouTube, but I'm sure he's one of the highest as well. So that's not looking good.
Definitely, there is no other team that would give you more media exposure than that team,
and that's what you've got to be looking for, right? As a tournament wins aren't going to do anything for you right now because it's not money making anyway. So,
and I guess that's the other thing. It's like there's like what are the tournament? How many people are watching the tournaments anyway? You get like. I can't even think of the last time we got 1,000 people watching a tournament.
Yeah, I guess I haven't kept track, but I would say like 1,000 is probably like what
peak
we're gonna get for our. Exactly.
Unless it's a Nintendo event, at which point I think I've seen like 10,000 views on like some of their
which
streams.
is coming.
It is coming.
Next month, right?
The Summer Splat in like June.
Yeah. June.
I mean, that's whatever. I guess without more events like that, are they going to get a whole lot of exposure for their brand? Yeah. Unlike maybe if that Disney thing, or like some other company comes in.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, darn it.
Oh man, that's like crazy.
And
they still have the World Championship, so it's like the summer. The start of spring with the qualifiers and the summer peaking with the World Championship. But then it just disappears. It's just off the grid entirely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It seems like unless Nintendo or I just don't, maybe some other league, but I don't know if anyone that would actually come in and do that. Like in Counter-Strike, you had like some other like stuff, come in. It's a little more like shady, kind of shady.
Yeah, Face It. Yeah. Like independent leagues,
like MLG, like ESL or that kind of stuff, like some other games. That there's.
Well, remember we used to have the ESL thing, right, in Europe,
a long time ago.
disappeared.
I remember playing when I was playing Dawn of War, the ESL was around, but I don't know how big they were.
I don't remember. I don't know either, and that's pretty. Oh, so I guess it's not that big.
Yeah, I don't know if they exist. Some of those things like just come and go. Where it's
it's even this pay to splat thing.
Yeah,
so it's a tournament, whatever. That was a big tournament. There's drama, but I'm not here about the drama. I'm here to talk about his reaction to the drama. Is basically saying I don't even pay attention to this game.
Yeah, so, that was a legendary. Excuse.
Yeah, so whether that was a good response or not.
I mean, it's like so dumb you believe it. Yeah.
The fact that he literally doesn't
pay attention,
care enough to even pay attention to the game, like so.
Yeah, it ain't good.
It's weird when you're in something in a community to you see how passionate and how much these guys love this game and wanted to succeed.
Mm.
But I think looking outside, it's kind of unfair. You look at Counter Strike, you look at Valorant, and how it Riot, and just these guys. These are monster companies that have experience in esports, and you see Nintendo, and Smash built itself up. I give no credit to where Smash is now to Nintendo.
I think Nintendo was trying to kill it. I think at some point.
Yeah, they literally were. Like they were literally trying to remove it from Evo. All those years ago.
Mm.
How could you have any faith in a company that really has not proven to do literally anything for the game? So.
I mean, only hope I think is like if some of these companies like really show like prove that they're making money. I don't know if like some way there's like a bubble right now. Like some of these companies being like like they've grown like 5 times their value in like I think like 5 years or it's an astronomical growth. Like what some of these like Cloud9 and stuff are valued at.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way I could see. Like, Nintendo says, like, "Hey, we can make cash doing this." Then, I mean, they are a business. They are a business.
Like a team, like take a risk.
I don't know. It's like they need to like figure out some way to, I don't know, to get in on that or like turn this sort of like esports phenomenon into like some sort of revenue stream for them.
Yeah,
but it's crazy. Like seeing how like they went into YouTube with like their content creation stuff, creator programs. It's really hard to see what they're gonna do. It's kind of I don't know.
And listen, if the game ends up being exactly how it is, it was still a fun game. It was still a great time. I'm sure everyone involved, but it's sometimes it's not in the cards. I guess like I just can't see. I just can't see it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I can't either. Like if I'm being like super realistic.
Look, Splatoon 1 is literally changed my life. One of the greatest games I've ever played in my entire life. I love it to death. Nintendo's my favorite company.
Oh yeah,
that's like basically my main way of playing games. But
mine too, for sure.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do as far as out of a hobby.
I mean, you did get to go to Japan, visit a lot of different, like California. Like were you there for one of the Genesis, or no?
I did not go to Genesis. I went to Worlds in 2018, I guess, or 2017. And I went to PAX East, and I went to Japan, obviously. So
that's
pretty
amazing.
I had a great. Listen, I'm probably one of the most winningest players in terms of like value of what I got. All these trips, going to Japan, this computer, literally like a $2,000 computer, like. But, I'm probably at the top, within the top 20 people. I'm sure there's a couple more that have made some more than me, but.
Yeah. That's
I can't do this. I can't do this for a job.
No.
This is not my job.
No.
Sure.
That is the thing is like once you kind of grow out of, college, what can you do unless like you're like dude, but like I think he's the only one that can actually like make that do that for a living.
And if dude is the exception, but if he needs to be the standard, we're kind of in trouble.
Yeah. There's no other competitive player that's I think making a living off. I mean, he's not even making a living off playing Splatoon. Like he's making a living off making content related to Splatoon.
True. That's a good difference to point out too. Honestly. He's technically a competitive player, but he's not on a team. I don't know if he's like attending tournaments regularly. So
I mean, I think he is like still playing competitively, but it's not like he's like the like top.
He's a YouTuber first, I think, right now.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame him too. It's like what if that's his job? That's what he needs to be doing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, like if this virus didn't happen, if this pandemic wasn't going on, and I had a job, my career was set to begin in mid-April, which got postponed. I wouldn't be here. I would be working. So I mean, the game is still great. Still a great game, and a ton of good memories and great experiences. And I'm not going to sit here and say I deserve more. or anything like that. I'm so grateful for everything that I had with this game. So
Yeah.
there's
Well,
no, it's not a sour or bitter comments that I'm making.
I feel you. It's definitely, it's just you kind of wish what could have been. I
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know if Splatoon 3 is going to come out at some time where that'll, change things. It seems like Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2, though, it could have been like the Wii U to the Switch conversion. Like Splatoon 2 brought in a lot more players.
Yeah, for sure. It must have, right? Like Splatoon, Switch is such a hit compared to the
Yeah.
Wii.
And I don't know if, it's going to be another system before we get Splatoon 3 or not, but maybe that'll revive or even like bring in more stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Let's see. I don't want to end it in such a it's kind of downer. But I do want to ask you one thing. Just how much did you have to play to really like stay at the top when you were like the STDX or the Team Olive, playing at the very highest echelon?
Well, I would say that none of Splatoon 2 is my peak as a player.
Really?
So, yeah, I would say that I absolutely was better in Splatoon 1 than I ever was in Splatoon 2, minus like the first week of the game where Jetpack was like absolutely insane, and I literally just spammed Special Charge Jetpack on T-Tech. So besides that, I would say, I was never at the top. I was never the best Splatoon 2 player, but I do think I was the best Splatoon 1 player. And when I personally think I was at my peak, I was playing hours upon hours every morning Japanese scrims. I would wake up at 6 a.m, play until they went to bed, so like 11 o'clock. Have like a breakfast in between, maybe at some point. So I'd be playing maybe 6 hours in the morning. Then I would go to work at between 2 and 3 o'clock. I would go to work, and then I would go home and go to bed, basically, like 10, 11, midnight. So basically like 6 hours a day. I'd probably say 5 to 6 hours a day, but none of it was wasted. In Splatoon 1, after I hit S plus 99, I never played solo queue again. Literally never. So, yeah, I had some ego block with like literally having the S plus 99 on my stream. And I didn't want that to go away while I was on my stream, so I would just maybe a little bit of League, but 100% scrimming 5-6 hours a day with the best players in the world. That was it. That's when I thought I was the best.
Wow. And that's I guess what it takes to be at the top, or at least hang with the top. So even when you were like Splatoon 2 still playing like on some of the best North American teams, there you weren't you were playing even less than you were before, or you just feel like your tuning was less?
I never grinded Splatoon 2 like I grind Splatoon 1 ever, because I just never liked the game as much. But I definitely had days where we would practice for hours upon hours, 4 hours at a time. But even my streams, like basically Splatoon 1, after I started streaming in like December of 2015, I never played without streaming. So any time you ever saw me play the game, that's my total.
Wow.
My total hours on Twitch was my total hours on Splatoon 1. In Splatoon 2, I couldn't stream Splatoon 2 sometimes because I didn't know if I was going to want to stop after 5 games. So, yeah, like I played a lot less, and I played a lot less seriously. Like I played a lot more playing Rapid Blaster and Charger for like no reason whatsoever, just for like fun, just to relax and have fun.
Okay.
Compared to Splatoon 1, where I don't even have a single weapon over 1 million paint besides T-Tech.
Wow.
So my personal mindset and like total change as a player is like very apparent between games too.
Wow. So it's just like not enjoying the game as much that kind of led you to give up the game, or just felt like you were just burning out on playing it?
Like eventually to really stop playing the game was like there's a few things. One, I needed to get a real job and actually start making money. Once the post STDX thing fell through, I really, that was it for me. Like, I couldn't wait any longer to try and make something happen with the game when I just needed to get on with my life. And otherwise, like, not enjoying the game, sure. Like, I would have still played it, as hard as possible if something was really happening. But I never had that. I never needed that external motivation in Splatoon 1. I just wanted to play. I just wanted to play and be the best. Like, that's all I was thinking about all the time. Granted, I was younger, and the need for a job wasn't as immediate. Or I did have a job, but the need for a career was as immediate. So I think it's a combination of things. I think some players who hit their stride in Splatoon 2 would feel the exact opposite as me. Maybe they were just goofing around in Splatoon 1 all the time, and then when Splatoon 2 came out, and that was it. They just want to play nonstop, grind the game, be the best, stuff like that. But wasn't my case.
Wow. Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame that it worked out that way, but I guess that kind of happens, especially after all that stuff fell through. It just
yeah. You have drama in the community. For me personally, like a lot of drama in the community, a lot of like those external things happening, and it does sap your drive to play for sure. But other kids are maybe getting their first opportunity, and like this is their time to level up. So I don't know if it's a game thing. I think it's more of a me thing and my personal situation.
It was just it just kind of became time to move on.
Yeah, I'm getting older. I can't, I couldn't wait for the game anymore to be at a level that I could use it as something.
There's never going to be like a steady paycheck coming through Splatoon 2. That's unfortunate, but I mean I guess that's how it happens sometimes.
Yes, timing. Sorry.
Yeah. I kind of feel that way too sometimes. Well, not from a competitively, but it's like when I was in college, like YouTube didn't exist, Twitch didn't exist. It's like any like these any like opportunities. Like I thought like you could never make a living playing video games when I was in college. It was just an unreal possibility unless you're like Fatality and you were playing Quake winning John Carmack's Ferrari, then that was the only way. But who knows, like maybe in like 5 years there'll be someone making like $100,000 playing Splatoon 3 or something.
I would love to see that.
I would too.
Even though it wasn't my time, like I would never I would love to see it. I would love to see the game grow into something like that, because the concept of the game at least is just unbelievable. One of the best I've ever played. Yeah,
it is really interesting the way like it's like a shooter, but it's not like there's no hit scan weapons. The ink on the ground plays a very unique factor in it.
Just the territory, back and forth.
You have to like it is really really cool. I hope something comes of it, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for sure.
Because unfortunately, with the way things are, it's like I don't see it coming from anywhere at the moment. I think most orgs kind of slowing down.
I don't know if I've seen any. I see teams pop up all the time, but I don't really know the organization, so I never comment on them.
Yeah, I mean, like
I don't really know the situation surrounding that kind of stuff, because I never involved myself if I didn't know who I was dealing with. But I guess the bottom line is I just won't even count it as something until I know it's something.
Yeah, like stuff like Supernova or anything like that, where it's just like bringing one team to a LAN isn't gonna do much.
That's like basically what the deals are for like other teams that
I think so. Which I mean, is it cool for them? I mean, if it helps you go to like
Yeah, like individually, that
Yeah,
that
it's
that
really
could
great.
be amazing. That could be life changing. What
Mm,
or just if not life changing, just a great experience in general. But for the overall game, like one team doing that,
yeah.
I guess it's not really going to change too much.
Well, I think that's covered basically all the topics that I wanted to cover. I mean, I don't know if there's anything else that you wanted to point out. Is there you plan on doing anything with as far as the next
Well,
tournament?
I if someone invited me, sure, but I'm not gonna impose myself upon someone to play in an actual tournament. Like
Mm,
for me right now, it's Splatoon. Since the quarantine situation happened, I've had a lot more free time, obviously, so I've been playing, and mostly just like leaguing, solo queue, some Japanese scrims in the morning, like basically just getting games based on like from old friends.
mm,
Like, oh, actually, maybe something that's kind of interesting. Like my reputation as a player in Japan got me a lot of connections with more Japanese people and with just playing constant great players, but they won't play with me anymore because I've been out of the game for a while.
really?
So I think it's really good to point out that my name doesn't just automatically allow me to do things that I want with Japan in this case,
Mm,
which I want people to understand because that it just speaks volumes to how much you actually have to grind and prove yourself to you're playing when you decide to play with Japanese players, they're playing for you like almost out of courtesy. Like there's no real reason for
mm,
Japanese players to play with overseas players. There could be the curiosity. They could genuinely want to see how strong you are, which is a perfectly valid reason. But 9 times out of 10, they could just wait like 2 more minutes and get a Japanese scrim and not have to deal with the external issues,
mm,
that present itself when you're playing across the world. So like the initially you can't have any ego going into it,
mm.
and then you basically have to treat it like a free ride. Like you just have to make the most out of that situation because now I don't play the game, and when I decide to come back, if I ask people, "Hey, you want to play?" They're like, "No, I don't want to play with you. Like you're not even good anymore." Which they're right. I'm not good anymore,
Yeah.
but I don't get by on the legacy of what I did or who I used to be.
Mm,
I think now the fact that I'm American and the lag and all that stuff overshadows me doing anything good with them, or being friends with them prior to. Which I think I respect it because
yeah.
like I think if I was in their shoes, I would do the same thing probably. But um, yeah. Besides that, I'm just a casual gamer. You just see me in leagues,
Yeah.
see me in some league matches
That,
using Tri-Slosher and Rapid Blaster.
that's actually really interesting. If you're not on the cutting edge, basically, of the highest level of play, they're not gonna waste their time with you.
Yep. There's no reason. I played against them once. We got like 5-1 or 5-0, and like even myself, like why would I don't ask them anymore. I asked them initially,
Mm,
the best Japanese players, but I'm not gonna waste my time and their time asking them because I'm not good enough.
yeah. Do you think if you played in that tournament, you'd have a chance to win it, the Summer Open?
Yeah, if I decided today I wanted to play it for June 21st, I think it was,
Yeah.
or
It's
whenever late
21st,
June.
22nd, yeah.
I think my mental game was always my strongest suit, not really my mechanics. So I think that would always just carry me pretty far. And I think if I was able to field like a solid team, I don't really doubt that I'd be able to win. To be honest, I'm not like super. I don't feel like American Splatoon right now, or European Splatoon, or Japanese Splatoon either. Really, I don't feel like Splatoon in general is being pushed right now
Really?
to levels like beyond my immediate uh, grasp. Beyond like 1 month's worth of hard practicing. Now, I feel like sometimes I could watch the game and I see particular players doing well, but I don't feel like the meta is like even conducive. Really, it's not individualized, and there aren't really teams. So I feel like anyone could really break through with like any sort of planned attack.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's kind of early in a meta still. Like duelist culture players aren't duelist culture players. They're playing duelist culture. Bamboo players, same thing. There's some, I'm sure there's some duelist players, some bamboo players, but a lot of the people right now are still T-Tech players or
Yeah.
whatever players playing dual culture. So I think the fact that I'm not a mechanically oriented player, I could make up that ground quick because they're not in their comfort zone either yet.
So it's about just maybe getting in that during that shift.
Yes,
being able
the meta shift, when the meta is shifting, it gives a chance for washed up players to make a big impact.
You guys,
because I could still rely on my mental game, and then once you're playing a new weapon, if you're discouraged, you're in a really bad spot. So this is the spot right now, just in general, not with me, where like things can shift a lot because say the best team in North America, whatever teams they are, they're trying to adjust to the meta. So someone picks up Brella, someone picks up Bamboo, someone picks up Dual Culture, but now they're not doing it fast enough. So all of a sudden they start losing to a team that's playing, they're still playing double T-Tech or whatever, or they just magically happen to have a dually player who is suddenly dominating or something like that. And this is the perfect period where teams that weren't at the top can take over.
Because exactly, because you have to kind of like be bad at a weapon before you get enough competence.
Difficult to use. Umbrella is difficult to use. Bamboo is really difficult to use. So, Zap is easy. So maybe if a team just keeps spamming in Zap, they could try to weather that storm. But until then, if in Japan right now, if you see you could really feel the difference between dually sculpture players and players playing dually sculptures. It's a world of difference. I said this play style is suffocating. You can absolutely feel the difference between a seasoned dually player and then a guy who's trying to pick it up because the meta is shifting.
Yeah.
So this is the prime time to strike.
Yeah, the difference between a guy that just he goes in he's playing T-Tech and then just uses the rolls to kind of get him out of a bad situation.
And those funky little roll jumps that they do, and just Brella in general. Brella is a great weapon to see. Wow, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, or okay, I'm never going to win a 1v1. I never approach this guy. You can see that right away.
Yeah.
So these are, and they're actually weapons that require that. So it's pretty interesting, I think.
That is cool. They're very high skill gap, or the skill ceiling for them is very high.
Yeah.
I mean,
not everyone's going to be throwing 2 splat bombs with Junior. That's
Lord. I don't know if it is better or worse than Kunder was.
Junior?
No, yeah.
I mean, I hate all things with the umbrellas, the whole umbrella family. I just can't stand. I'm shooting you, you're not taking damage. That bothers my brain a lot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love Junior, but I hated how popular it got. If Junior was just toned down a little bit and still reasonable sometimes, because its strengths are there, but when its weaknesses aren't getting exploited and it becomes that crazy, that's not good either.
Yeah, it seems like some people kind of caught on that it's not that good in a fight and can you just walk up and beat it up, but I don't know if... Yeah,
it wasn't getting exploited hard enough, and I don't know if because the weaknesses just weren't that great, if the team comp was able to cover that, or, what, or just, pure fear of a Junior or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It does seem like it fit in really well in a lot of different comps. It's I'll give you paint coverage, I'll give you lethal bombs like crazy, I'll give you armor. Yeah. It's
like the exact epitome of Splatoon 2, and, what does it do? It really doesn't do anything. It sits in the back.
It paints and throws bombs, and then
and uses the special. It's that is it.
Boom.
And it was meta defining. It's still strong, I guess.
Yeah. I guess something some long range. Hey, you did mention something that I thought was interesting. When you said your mental game is the strongest point. What do you mean by your mental game?
When you're playing someone in a scrim, especially when you're the challenger, when you're the guy on the come up, you don't really have as much experience in general, obviously. So you really have to rely on just out mechanicking, and you have a huge ego, and like say me in 2016, I'm not at the top yet, and we're playing against a top team. Like, you want to show off, you want to really just like stick it to the guy that you're the better player and like make him notice you. But once you're at the top, everyone knows what you could do. Everyone knows exactly what kind of player you are, what your gear is, how like what your tendencies are. So it's up to you. Not only you have to outgun like people that are hungry for you, but you really have to outthink, because they have the knowledge of your gameplay that you don't have of them. Like I could be playing how many teams a week, I really don't know their names, but they all know who I am. So I can't just rely on the same exact thing that I've done a million times. So you really have to become crafty with it. And then you start noticing, like, it got to a point where, like, literally after the first game of playing against a person, I'd be like, okay, like, as the timer ticks down, similar to what I said in solo, as the timer ticks down in an overtime situation, where is this guy going to be? Like, before it even happens, if they're playing a T-Tech guy that you notice he likes to hide, like, okay, as the timer's clicking down, start painting up corners, because he's probably going to be there. 9 times out of 10, you're going to find him. Or you'll instantly find out, is the Charger player a jumper or is he a fighter? So you can literally save yourself time and energy by scaring the Charger up before he knows what he's going to do. You already know this guy is going to jump out once you start scaring him. So
wow,
plays like that, situations like that, which there's no mechanical skill involved. It's just understanding your opponent and basically trying to predict and react before they understand what they're doing. You see them have 4 specials up, okay, I can pretty much tell what's coming based on the kind of specials they have. Let me position myself accordingly. Instead of reacting, you're just predicting, basically.
Yeah, that's actually pretty incredible that you're able to like do. You don't think other players are on that same level, or like a lot of players aren't on that same level where they're able to, like,
I think players can do it, but I don't think players are always doing it. And I think even worse, some players think they're doing it and are not
doing it well enough.
They just like don't. I think some players like think they're like out mind gaming you, but it's actually they're just better mechanically than you. Because you could have better mechanics and be like, oh, I outplayed you. I'm so much better than you. I'm smarter than you. I was able to squid strafe and like I'm a genius. I knew that if I squid strafe 7 times. But then there's players like me. I'm not going to do that because I would never be in that position in the first place. So you would. There's different skill sets. Like you could go through all type of players, and if you really took a look, like what kind of player they are, what kind of strengths they have. I'm sure there's mental players, but it's harder to see that. Obviously,
yeah, that's true. That's true. You don't necessarily like know exactly what they're thinking.
Yeah,
but
there's when you're like, oh, why is that guy there? Like, why would he ever be there? Well, he might actually be there because he knows what you're going to do.
That's true. I know watching some of your streams, you did seem to have a really good ability for knowing where someone was going to be. What lane they're going to take coming back.
Yeah, when you're at the, it even goes as far, like, say you kill someone in a weird way, and the kid is 14 years old, so he's probably pretty upset. Might literally just sprint right back at you, so you just pre-fire and you kill him. Because that's how a lot of people work. If you're playing against a more mature player who's maybe more or objective focused, if you kill him, you have to watch out that his teammates might come up on you because he's probably calling out, "Hey, this guy's here." So the young player who's aggressively approaching you constantly and like trying to show off his mechanic skill might not even be calling out because he just wants to beat you 1v1 and just assert his dominance. So you could use that whole ideology against him and just dominate him for just a short period of time until like team catches on or the game switches, to where you need to be or something like that. So those types of things, which you're never going to really be able to quantify like what these types of plays are. But as someone, I was a big fish in a small pond in Splatoon for a couple of years, so I was keenly aware of all the players that were trying to beat me and then the players that were trying to win the game. And there's like a difference that you were able to just totally take advantage of them, which is something that I think is unique to, or more unique to America versus America, maybe Europe versus Europe.
True.
Cross country, not as much, and
some of it.
Weapon selection. So if you're a T-Tech player playing a T-Tech player, you're going to be more aware that they might try to pride revenge kill you. If you're a T-Tech player and you kill a Charger player, he's probably not going to start running you down, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So all those little things go into it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely see like some of that with like Zero, going up against Kiver, that kind of stuff. And it's it is interesting to see like them winning like against KP and like they're just like losing their mind, the fact that they actually won, versus a team like, I don't know if it was like Craig and Perry. I think it was their Alliance Rogue at the time, but it just like for them like winning just seems like it's automatic. Like beating them wouldn't mean anything, but for the other team, it's like it's the entire world that. Yeah. It's unbelievable.
You could play against the team when you know that's what their goal is, that there's underlying motivations in it. You could really play off of that. So there's a lot of mind games within the game that is pretty much basically because we're such a small community that you're able to pick up on these things because you're playing them so often.
Yeah, it is amazing to see. Like, just I've gone through like some other players. Like streams from like YouTube's from like 5 or 6 years ago, and like you see the same exact players like then that there is now. Like I see like playing with Urza like 3 years ago, or like I was like looking. I interviewed the one or Charlotte, what he's called now. Like I'm seeing like 5 or 6 players that I recognize that are still playing the game from now. It's like all these players like they've just been playing against that same pool for 4 to 5 years.
Yeah, you have actually. For Splatoon 1 guys, like Sendo, myself, Dude, Giver, Soren, like, you've been playing since the inception of the competitive scene, pretty much, so you're going to know the ins and outs. So that's what you'll see, actually. Sendo is a good example. I mean, his playstyle has evolved. I think... it's actually so funny because when we were playing Splatoon 1 together, Sendo was always playing Luna, then playing CRB, and then eventually like kind of picked up Mini later. And like he would always take the Rainmaker, and I would always fight with him when he was playing Luna with the Rainmaker. Like, dude, you can't take the Rainmaker because you gotta kill them. You gotta go kill them with their. But he loved to. He's the best Rainmaker carrier in the history of the universe. He's so good. But it was such a weird thing that I had never seen with anyone else when their weapon selection and their play style didn't match. And like Splatoon 2, I think is like a perfect game for him because you could see like played the Tentabella, the Junior, like Kunder, Rapid. Like, he plays weapons that fit his style better, and I think that I don't know if I haven't talked to him specifically about that, but like as an outsider looking at it. I could see like, wow, I could definitely see it. Well, Sendo would enjoy this game more because it was like he was in the wrong body in Splatoon 1. He was just getting by being a great player, but now maybe he's like more in his comfort zone. That the game fits him better.
Oh, that is interesting. Like, because I think he still even like sometimes goes back like yearns for the blasters to be good again. That time.
Just so it's just he's looking through rose tinted glasses.
Yeah, I think he's playing.
He is not a blaster player, even though he's good enough to play blasters.
Yeah,
at heart, he's a Rainmaker carrier, and that's not a blaster player.
Yeah, he does seem like one of the more tactical players in the scene.
Yeah, and you're right. Everyone knows who he is. Everyone watch this stream.
Yeah,
everyone knows his accolades. So. He's got to be able to adapt, or he's just going to get squished.
Yeah, that is true. It's like, especially like someone that's been in the scene. I guess that's one of the downsides of being so well known is everyone's going to watch you. Like everyone knows who Kiver is, how he plays, or any of those players like Urza.
Yeah, any of the big streamers nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure. And you know, like every time you die, they're gonna be clipping that. Like some
Yeah.
kid's gonna be clipping
Yeah.
that, put it on Twitter. Got him. I'm the best T-Tech in the scene now.
Quad on for the win. Quad on F.
Yeah, FD win. Yep. Yep.
Quad. Dude, yeah, it's real. All that stuff is real, and it's, I guess, part of being in such a small community that these things are more amplified on you. You know,
maybe even
your friends are friends with the guys that are doing this to you.
Yeah.
And if you're playing like a huge game, you're never going to see that because it's not going to pop up on your feed because your circle is not associated with the casual circle that is that excited about killing you once.
Yeah, and that is a lot of pressure. I never really thought about that the social pressure that comes from that.
Yeah, for sure.
And like
I think that's why you see the biggest players right now, most popular, are just like really genuinely nice people.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone else could handle it. Like I couldn't handle it. I'm not a genuinely nice guy. I could not handle that. I have taken many breaks. I've stopped entirely.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that you see still, not like that have done it for 6 months or a year or whatever, that have streamed for like 4 or 5 years now, they're probably all extremely kind people, which is probably the biggest thing you need because there's not going to be as much negativity and drama surrounding you.
Which I guess is kind of a shame. Like I kind of like having some of those people that cause.
I love it too, but the community doesn't.
I know that's I think a downside. I kind of miss.
I love it.
I kind of miss some of the people like Walkman. That Walkman was like he was a nice guy, but he had a little more to an edge.
He is a nice guy, but he would talk shit.
Yeah, he would.
It's how some guys were, but I don't know. I don't know if it's the age.
Maybe
we're just like. I think it's the age and like being on the internet and not understanding that everything you say isn't always what you mean or something.
Yeah,
like, it is. When I'm in the schoolyard, my best friends would be telling me, "Wow, like you're the worst football player, you're the worst basketball player. Like, wow, you can't even make a shot." Like, it's just how the competition motivates you. So when I brought that to Splatoon, I was met with a response I was not prepared for.
That is a shame. I always thought that people gave people too much. I mean, it's not like putts where it's like he's like really yelling at the top of his lungs. No, I think that's more of an act, but
saying oh, you suck when you kill someone.
Yeah,
give me a break. Give me a break, guy.
Yeah.
Do you think the player was thinking that much about it?
Exactly. And then like someone gets on.
You gotta pump yourself up. You gotta hype yourself.
I know.
Keep yourself focused.
There's plenty of players that like have to do that. I really have to get themselves
for sure.
The game.
I know players that never want to say a word. Nike was one of the best players of all time. 2-1. He said about 7 words per game. Like, then there's me on the opposite, literally talking nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
We were great teammates. I love Nike.
Yeah.
We were like maybe polar opposites in game.
I noticed that most of the call-outs came from you in like all the games I watched. I guess that's kind of like how you focus on the game, though, is you talk through it.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm not a real mechanical player. So I think my strength was in the vision that I had, like seeing the field, like understanding what's going on, giving calls to my teammates, helping them out. So, like then, because you have a player like say Splatoon 1 was actually the best example because we had Nike, who is the pillar of our foundation. Like we couldn't ever let him die, so he wasn't going to talk because he's concentrating so hard on hitting every single damn shot. So it was really up to me, which I took it upon myself without no problem, to give him the information that he would need sometimes in order to stay alive or hit a shot or read a flank or something like that. And that was just how the game went.
Yeah, it was actually sad to see him leave. I guess like even he had some issues like just playing the game in general.
Yeah, I'm sure he had a lot of pressure too. And
for sure.
Not everyone is brought up the same way. Like how I was brought up, like very social. Like, not everyone has like a big family in the house all the time, constantly yelling and screaming. Like people react to all that stuff differently. So I would never fault Nike for stepping away for the reasons that the social reasons that he needed to.
Yeah, it's it's hard for some people, especially like I mean I've had some of those issues too, where it's like a long, loud, like talkative areas like kind of mess me up after a while. It's very draining.
Yeah, it can be for sure. Even for myself, like after this, I probably just fall right asleep. Even though I really enjoy talking about this stuff, it
Yeah,
does drain me. So
for sure.
there could be people that do not enjoy it, still have to do it,
Hmm.
and they're doubly strained.
Yeah, I don't know how commentators do it, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. Eric just stepped away.
Yeah,
The best,
yeah,
maybe one of the MVPs of Splatoon behind the scenes.
yeah. It's amazing what's kind of going on. I mean, you had Ink TV step down.
Yeah,
EGTV is going through a lot of changes. They don't seem like they're doing as many events. I don't know what's going on with GSM. So big shifts.
yeah. I think the guys that started that when they had their free time, I think maybe in a similar position to me. Like maybe they just got to grow up and find stuff out because I think we're all similar ages. A couple of guys are a little older than me, but out of college,
Yeah,
find a
exactly.
job, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So maybe there's got to be another wave, maybe a new wave.
yeah. Young blood coming up
Yeah.
through the ranks. Take it to the next level.
Oh, can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
yeah. Wait. All right, man. I think that's. I mean, it's been over an hour.
Yeah, we're going. We're going. I can
Yeah.
feel my face is flushed for sure.
Wow.
Talking a lot.
That's awesome. I mean, it's a blast to talk to you. Clearly, I mean, you can tell the passion that you have for this game. It's even now.
Splatoon 1 is the greatest game I ever played. I still have all my records from every Japanese scrim I ever made.
For
all of
real?
my map. Yep.
You actually
all of my
keep a
map.
log of all that?
Yep.
And did you use that to track your progress?
I would basically keep my like team comp and my win loss, and then I would compile it later on to see like maybe when I need to change like some weapons that I would struggle with T-Tech with and switch to Cherry eventually, and just like try to like remake it because like not Muscle Forge, Hammerhead Bridge, and one more that I can't remember. I just couldn't. Like I was just getting outplayed, like Salt Spray, I think it was. I was like, man, like I'm struggling on these maps. Like I'm lost with T-Tech. I don't know what to do.
Wow.
And like I'd see that, and I'd have the evidence to back me up. Like, all right, yeah, my only losing record of any map is Hammerhead, so I got to do something to change that.
I wonder how many people actually take that time and dedicate.
Dude, I don't think there's anyone as frenzied about Splatoon 1 as I was.
Really?
Like I was all in on that game. I would have if Splatoon 2 didn't come out ever, I would still be on Splatoon 1. Like I didn't leave Splatoon 1 because I wanted to at all. I wasn't ready for Splatoon 2. If you go back and listen to my conversation with Sendo before it came out, he was so hyped.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dude, I don't. They can't nerf QR. They can't be nerfing QR, are they? Like,
Oh no.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, that was my plan. Well, I don't know if there's another player like this now for Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
I don't know
like a
what-
guy like Keo or something that seems like plays like crazy.
Yeah,
Or-
but like he's drained. I'm pretty sure,
Really?
at least.
That's yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know if a game that's so based on the team with such a young, average age group, I don't know if it'll ever work like that without any structure. Like, granted, if there are 17, 18-year-olds, maybe younger, maybe a little older, with like a structure in place, sure, they would literally be amazing. 10 like magnitudes better than they currently are. But
Yeah.
when you have to organize yourself as well,
Yeah, that's true. Like you need like stuff like people like coaches and managers to kind of
yeah.
basically keep you from on the track to that is true. It's a lot of young talent that
Because it's not the same game as Splatoon 1. I don't think you're able to value your singular impact as much as you are in Splatoon 1. Like after every game of Splatoon 1, you could see I went 16 and 12 You know, Splatoon 2, like even not even seeing like you just see a 9, but you don't know what that means. Did you have 1 kill and 8 assists? Like it's I think it's a different feedback that the kids are getting. That
Mm.
I don't think they're sure of what they're even doing, you know, themselves.
Yeah.
Because the game is not focused around KD, so maybe KD wouldn't really do it either. But just having like the KA and specials, I think kids are maybe lost on like, am I losing because of myself? Am I losing because of my team? Like, is my weapon bad? Like, I think there's a lot of unsure.
That's yeah, I definitely think that's true. Where it's yeah, you don't know what feedback to look for. Like,
Yeah.
what is it my win loss record? Is it my KD or what should I
Yeah.
be doing? Like,
How do you stand on such uncertain ground like that? I don't
yeah,
know.
it is. That is hard. Yeah, I guess all I can do is like look at even then, like with lack of tournaments, like where do you see how you place? It's definitely hard, definitely rough.
Yeah, for sure.
All
All
right,
right, man.
that was
Yeah.
it was a blast talking to you, man.
Oh, that's great. I'm so happy you invited me. So
No,
happy.
that's awesome. It's awesome to talk to you again. Man, I don't blame you for leaving, but it is good to see you again.
Look, I'm leaguing around, so
All right,
see me in twin league. So
yeah, I'll have to get a twin to go and
all right,
fight
dude.
you.
Thanks so much, David, for having
Yeah,
me. I'll
yeah.
talk to you later.
Thank you. See you later, Fuzzy man.
Bye.
Bye. All right, guys, that was PK the Beast Fuzzy. Man, what a blast talking to him. I do want to thank Snowy Boy for giving me the follow. I'm going to post this later on YouTube. It's always a blast to talk to someone that's like so passionate about the game, and really, I mean, you can tell just how much he thinks about it, and that's I don't know, that's awesome to me. It's so cool to get his insights, and I will post this later if you didn't come in for the full thing. I'm gonna post it on YouTube, but that's it, guys. I'm drained too after talking to him. But it's really awesome. Thank you so much, Pkfuzzy. You can check out. I mean, he doesn't really do anything on YouTube or Twitch, but if you want to hit those up, live out the glory days of Splatoon 1, you can check him out. I got all his social media posted there, and got my there at Dave Andrus, DAVANDRES. I'll be on YouTube, YouTube/DORKDAV. So it's all there for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and you have a wonderful day. I'll see if I can raid somebody with my 5 whole viewers. Let's see. I got Kiver up there. Let's see if I can get someone smaller. Give some love to the smaller stream. All right. No one else is playing Splatoon, so
No,
we're
you just
raiding
saved me?
Kiver. We're raiding Kiver. He's the only one playing Splatoon right now. All right, guys. Thanks so much, man. If you haven't, be sure to give a follow. See you guys.